Hello everyone! Some of you might remember Miss Brianna's science experiments we did in class this year with baking soda and vinegar. Do you remember what happens when we combine baking soda and vinegar? Exactly! It bubbles up and makes an awesome chemical reaction. We are going to use that science to make an exploding paper mache volcano. This is kind of a big project, so you'll definitely need some help from an older sibling or a grown-up. It will also take a few days because you'll need to make the volcano, let it dry, decorate it with paint and art supplies, and then make it explode. Let's get into the materials you need. First, you need a paper plate or a piece of cardboard to be your base. Next, you need 2 disposable cups, paper or plastic, doesn't matter. And then you need 1 part flour to 2 parts water. Next, you need a large bowl for mixing and masking tape or pretty much any other type of tape. Last, you need newspaper. First, take your plate or whatever base you're using and 1 cup, turn the cup upside down and tape it down to the center of your base. This is going to make the structure for your volcano. So think carefully about how big you want it to be, how much newspaper you have, things like that when you're deciding how big to make this structure. Once you've got the bottom cup taped down, you're going to place the top cup on top of that. I decided to make my cup a little smaller by cutting it in half. Get a little tape and tape it onto the bottom cup facing up so that the opening is on top. This is where you're going to put the baking soda and then pour vinegar into. And that makes the structure of your volcano. Next up, for the paper mache, you're going to make your paste, which is made out of flour, or in my case, pancake mix, and water. Again, you're going to want about 2 parts water to 1 part flour, but feel free to experiment until you get the consistency that you like. Pour in your water and mix it on up. Once you've combined well, you want the consistency of a thin paste or glue. It shouldn't be too thick or it will be clumpy and take a long time to dry. Next up, take your newspaper and begin tearing it into strips. You can do some big ones and some small ones, but you're probably going to want more newspaper than you think you need. Once that's done, you can begin building the shape of your volcano. To do so, grab your structure, get your first strip of newspaper, and dip it in the paper mache paste material. Make sure to wipe off any extra paste with your fingers like this. If you leave on too much paste, it will be heavy and take a lot longer to dry. So you don't need all that much. Continue with this process, building up from the bottom, however you'd like your volcano to be shaped. You might have a short and wide volcano or a skinny and tall volcano, but generally they're larger at the bottom and smaller at the top. Continue adding more and more strips until your volcano is the perfect shape, just how you want it. It doesn't have to be perfect or smooth because real-life volcanoes are bumpy and have lots and lots of texture. Just make sure you don't cover the top of your volcano, the opening of the volcano at the top, with any newspaper. You want to leave that wide open. Continue until you have a shape that you like. Once you're pleased with your shape, you're going to be very messy, so make sure you wash your hands and clean up your workstation so that you're allowed to work there again. And that's all there is to it. Look how cool this volcano looks. Once your workstation is clean, just take your volcano either out into the sunshine if it's warm, or in a cool, dry place in your house so that it can dry. Now, all we have to do is wait. Once it's dry, begin the fun part, decorating. Once you're ready to explode your volcano, you will need baking soda, vinegar, something to mix in, something to mix with, and ideally food coloring, but I tried to use paint, as well as some dish soap. You're going to start with some vinegar and add in a few drops of dish soap and then mix to combine well. Once you have your mixture, color it with your food coloring or paint if you don't have it, but my paint didn't work out very well. I tried this two ways. First, I added the vinegar mixture straight to the volcano and then poured in the baking soda and gave it a little mix. See what happens. Here's the same explosion from another angle. Next, I tested what would happen if I added the baking soda first to the volcano and then poured the vinegar on top. I think this is the way I would recommend. Again, here's the same explosion from above. As usual, my science didn't work out exactly how I'd planned, but I still had fun, and that's all that matters. Next time, I think I would try using a plastic bottle instead of the 2 cups so that the opening at the top is smaller than a wide cup opening. That might work better. I would definitely use food coloring and not paint, and I think I would add the baking soda to the volcano first before putting in my vinegar solution. Try experimenting with different amounts of vinegar, different amounts of baking soda, and even different amounts of dish soap in your vinegar mixture and see what happens. Goodbye for now.